Hey everybody, it's Eddie Day on crypto, and there is so much to unpack today. So we went over a few topics during the crypto minute, and I'd like to hit them now. CPI numbers are expected out today, right? Most companies, most firms are expecting the CPI numbers to remain stat or remain the same, or just move up just a little bit. Now, that said, a lot of people are hoping for a pivot during the next FOMC meeting. I'm not expecting a pivot. I'm actually going to be honest and say I'm not expecting anything more than a pause. So, and I think that's really what's being said behind closed doors. I think everybody publicly is saying, excuse me, we need a pivot, we need a pivot, we need a pivot. No, we don't need a pivot. What we need is a pause, then a pivot. And I think that's the most likely scenario. And I think they actually know that. But, you try to put out into the universe what you want to happen. So there you go. I kind of am in the same camp as the numbers today will probably remain about the same. If they move, it'll move just a smidge. If it moves more than that, I'll be surprised. Surprised and disappointed because, that wouldn't be good. Coinbase is having a problem with their wallet, and it has left several people that were looking to liquidate or, withdraw some staking of Ethereum in limbo. So they're working on that. Do I think they'll fix it? Of course I think they'll fix it. Do I still think that they're a strong, centralized exchange? Of course I think they're still a strong centralized exchange. That said, you all know I still prefer non-custodial wallets. It doesn't mean that I don't use centralized exchanges, and custodial wallets. It just means that I prefer using non-custodial wallets where I have my keys and my crypto. So that's probably like 99% of my crypto is in my own, non-custodial wallet, because then I can take it with me anywhere and I don't have to worry about somebody else creating their own rules based on what they want to do. Now, next up, the SEC, Gary Gensler, my man, not really. He's catching flack. Remember I told you yesterday about that whole, custodian registration thing that he wants to put forward? Because that would give him the power to say, hey, these companies are registered and those companies have been denied. Let that wash over you. That's more control over a space they don't even understand. Next in that space is you have companies like the Blockchain Association immediately coming out and saying, nobody, we object. You have A16Z, major capital company. They're saying, yeah, nah, buddy, that's not the way. You have a lot of companies coming out. JP Morgan came out and said, nope, that's not what we're thinking. You want to know who else came out that just blew my mind? Was the SBA. The Small Business Administration is saying, nope. Now, my company, Rebel Visions, and our hosting company, Rebel Reach, we work with a lot of small businesses. So it wasn't as much a surprise. Like, it was a surprise for us to hear about the SBA being against this particular thing. But then I took a step back and started thinking about why. And I was like, the SBA, Small Business Administration, what are we seeing with small businesses right now? They're all beginning to think about crypto. All of them. And there's news about Venmo later on in the video, but that's why they're hearing about it through different services that they offer. Score is offered through them. They have a lot of different services that they offer where they interact with small businesses. And a lot of small businesses are saying, how can I get involved with that? There are a lot of questions about what small businesses are doing. And they're saying Web3, crypto, automation, and artificial intelligence. Those are the hot topics, and we're here to help. Now, when I look at the whole thing, I'm sitting back and I'm saying, Gary's got problems. Gary's problems are mounting. Remember I told you, what was it, last week or the week before last? I think it was last week. He has 10 days to respond to Coinbase. He has 10 days. And the clock is ticking. So this is not like the first day he found out. So the clock is ticking. Judge told him, you've got 10 days to respond to Coinbase's lawsuit. And I sit back and I just go, there have got to be changes. And mind you, there are joint crypto hearings going on in Congress. That's big. Steam is picking up to change how crypto is done in this country. It really is. And something else that I've been reading is there's a lot of opposition to a US CBDC. I told you yesterday, North Carolina and Florida have already passed laws that said, nope, not here, not now. I don't know that those states really carry any weight for me, but it does make a statement. It does make a statement. All right, and I have a little bit more news, for that is involved with the SEC, because it's going to be funny, because the CBOE is looking for approval for their ARC21 shares spot Bitcoin ETF. They've done it 2 other times, been told no. They're going for it again, I guess because there's so much heat around the SEC, and there's also no valid reason for the SEC to say no. So they said, fuck it, we're going to do it again. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Now, DCG, if you don't recall, DCG is having problems with their creditors over the whole Genesis fiasco. Their main creditor being Gemini. Well, they're talking to a lot of money people to, obviously get more money, because I think those creditors are looking for, a little bit more cash in the pot up front for the deal to go through. I think that's what happened. And I think it's cash because of the downward momentum of crypto as it is, over the past little while. And that's why they think the value might be different. So I could definitely see that as a strong reason why they're going to the street and looking for it. Now, Grayscale has stepped up and they're saying, we want 3 new ETFs. There's one that's going to be focused on Ethereum futures. There's one based on the index privacy exchange or index. And then there's another one that's focused on, let me get this straight. Bear with me, almost there. The Grayscale Privacy ETF will focus on the Index Privacy Index, which includes their Zscaler, their Grayscale Cash Trust. The other one is a global Bitcoin composite ETF focusing on exchange traded products. What I look at there is there's a lot of movement in Grayscale to make things happen. A lot of movement where the SEC is going to have to wake up and go, oh, okay, I guess we're going to do this. Grayscale, for some people, is a great way to get involved with crypto without actually getting into crypto. So those are things that I'm paying attention to. There is a new crypto liquidity problem because you have Jane Street and Jump Crypto both exiting the U.S. market, both of them citing extreme regulatory enforcement. And what they're really citing is the fact that there are no regulations, but there's a hell of a lot of enforcement going on in the United States. Hence, you have Congress doing all these joint sessions on crypto and how it's regulated. So those are very big things to actually think about. Something else that caught my attention, I told you earlier this month, I think on the 1st even, that Venmo was going to offer, peer-to-peer crypto services, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin. They've seen their holdings skyrocket 56%. 56%. That's 499 million in Bitcoin and 362 million in Ethereum alone. And, obviously smaller for the other two. But still, that's big. That's really, really big. That says that there are people that are leveraging Venmo to move crypto. Peer-to-peer crypto. Crypto adoption is growing, and it's in a major fashion. A major, major fashion. Anyway, you know what we should do? We should look at the numbers. That's right. Let's get there real quick. All right, so we already know that the CPI numbers are expected today. So I'm like, yeah, sounds about right. If you look right here, you can see the median forecast previous, and you can see the forecast is at 0.1. It was 0.1. So kind of remaining set in general for the core year over year, going down 1/10. We'll see. But But again, I'm not expecting a pivot next to FOMC meeting. I'm expecting a pause. Right now, people are saying, screaming that we've gone too far with the rate hikes. Possible. Very possible. The fear and greed index is at 52. That's down. That puts us in, neutral territory. It was at 60 yesterday. All right. And you can see why. You can definitely see why. I will also tell you to go look up Pepe and see how it's doing today. Yeah. That's what I would tell you to do. And the reason why is because, everybody's asking me, how come you're not doing Pepe? How come you're not doing Pepe? Again, it goes back to my use case story. I tend not to buy meme coins. If my kids tell me about it, I'll do it. I tend not to muck around with meme coins. Pepe, if you do your research on Pepe, you might not be happy with what you find. And that was another reason why I wasn't getting involved. I just said, nope, I can hold off on that. It's not to say that I will not do meme coins. My last meme coin was SHIB. There are other meme coins that I'm looking at. I'm not going to disclose them because I'm not here to shill coins. But I do my research. I don't just focus on big caps and medium caps. I also think about small caps. So do your own research, come up with your own reasoning. What the formula I use for meme coins is, what's the community behind it? What's the hype behind it? What kind of news do I see around it? And there are a couple of meme coins that are popping up that I think that, given the right formula of that information and timing, could see those meme coins go up. So we'll see. Let's see. The numbers right here, like I said, this is the 28.28 mark that I've been telling you about, and we're right now trading laterally below that 28.28 mark toward the bottom of my green band right here, signified by the 31,580 and the 26,475. Between those two numbers, that's what I call my green band. We're still trading laterally within that band. And until we break out, I'm not going to really be surprised at anything. I just think that these are times where you're going to see a dip and you might be able to take advantage of the dip. And that's what I think people should be paying attention to. At least that's what I tell my kids. Let's see if we can get the big picture to pop up. Probably not. It's looking like it's not going to be friendly with us. Excuse me. See that? Flashes on and goes away. Plays with my emotions all the time, every day. But if I look at the list, you can see, we're basically still in the red, in a broad spectrum of things. Polygon, I don't know what the heck is going on with Polygon. I still believe in Polygon because if you look at ordinals, right, it's all about bringing, NFTs, those kinds of things over to Bitcoin. Great, not a problem. It's awesome. Stacks does smart contracts via Bitcoin. Great, that's awesome. But you want to know the platform that does it the most? It's Ethereum. And you want to know on Ethereum who does it the most? Polygon. So when I look at this number, I'm not happy with it, but like I told you yesterday, I'm piling on with my DCA strategy and maybe even with a little bit of dry powder because I don't think the dip is going to last long. And this is a great price considering where it was. This is a great price for Polygon for me. And then you can see the big picture right here. Everything is down, but miraculously, I'm looking at how crypto is responding. It's not as far down as it was across any of the coins. They're not as far down as they were, and taking the hit on the chin and in the gut and still maintaining good numbers. Crypto is not going away, and I think the SEC should wake up to that. Right? That's really where my head is at. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. I hope my research helps you, and wanted to do me a favor and do your own research. I can deliver a lot of news to you, but you need to also do your own research so you can come up with your own decisions. Have a good one. Bye-bye.